Hello, welcome to EnterElysium Talks About EnterElysium, the YouTube channel. I'm going to be talking about some of the issues that we're having with the YouTube channel at the moment. I don't really know where to start with this video. It's a complicated one, and it's something that's been doing my head in for a while with the whole, like, YouTube playing around with videos and format changes, and I don't know where to take the channel. You might have seen recently that, like, there's been a lot less videos on the channel. And this is the problem. Like, I've realized a few things about YouTube and I don't know how to solve them, and instead of solving them or trying to make changes, I was kind of stuck going, I don't know how to fix this, and so I didn't do anything. And I don't know how to continue. I don't know how to change or improve or fix the issue. And so I kind of should have made this video earlier, but this is me saying, I don't know where to go from here. Here are some options. I want to try and get feedback, or if anyone else has any other ideas, you know, put them in the comment section. I need to get some sort of external input here, because right now there are some problems with how the channel works with YouTube and how the formats work and stuff, and it's just not working, to be honest. Yeah. Anyway, I guess I should explain the problem, right? So, the problem that's been the case for the last couple of years, particularly in the last few months, especially on this channel, is that YouTube holds videos against your channel. So if a video does poorly, it will recommend your channel less. It will recommend your videos less. It will put your videos in subfeeds less. It will put your videos in the recommended bar at the side next to videos you watch, which is that side, less. And that's an important one, actually. Most videos these days are consumed via the recommended, like, similar titles you might like section. And so an example recently is, you might have seen, I did an episode 1 of Civilization for Let's Play, and then didn't post any others. I've recorded loads. I recorded, I think, 7 or 8 at the same time. I did a batch recording. Most Let's Players do batch recordings, especially for strategy games, because it's so much easier to go, episode 1. I do the things. Episode 2, I know I am doing the things. I will continue doing the things. Whereas if you go away and then come back, you're like, am I friends with you? Why am I trying to murder you? Why did I build Petra there? Like, you don't understand everything, and you have to... Like, it's much easier to do them batch recording. It's also massively easier to do all the little, like, upload thumbnails as a batch, do the descriptions as a batch, render them all, which can take quite some time, as a batch overnight. So it's much easier to do batch recording. So obviously I did a batch of 7 or 8 Civ videos. And then I posted the first one, and it didn't do great. It did pretty terribly. In fact, it did quite reliably bad from what I've seen. It did 50% the views I expect. And that means all other ones in the series, it's always the case, will do equally bad. And, you know, episode 1 is always the best episode because it's where people enter, so the views are lower on everything following that. So if I post the rest of the series, they're all going to be bad. And bad videos drag your channel down now. So if I post any more, it will drag the channel even further down. So what do? I've left that video sitting there. People are expecting a series now. And I don't know, do I post the rest and trash the channel? I can't really do that. It doesn't work. I tried soldiering on and it doesn't work. Do I just delete it? Well, some people are going to feel like, oh, I was looking forward to a series like that. Where'd it go? Or do I just not do Let's Play content? Which is, you know, the bread and butter of the channel. Without the bread and butter, we're like, what are we doing? We were just a plate. Got to figure out something else to put on the plate. And like, you might have seen this with the recent XCOM series. That's a really good example. People on the channel watch XCOM. I like XCOM. XCOM's done well on the channel. So I posted the new XCOM game. And that did, again, 50% the views. And consistently did that. And it was bringing the entire channel down. I was wondering why the channel wasn't doing so great. It was because that was bringing the channel down. And so it stopped midway through the series. And I've still got more episodes recorded, and probably even rendered, I think even uploaded to YouTube, just not posted, because if I post them, they'll do terribly and they'll drag the channel down. Now, bear in mind, this isn't me saying it's terrible of you for not watching my videos. Don't. Like, watch videos you want to watch, and if you start watching them and you don't want to watch that video, then don't watch it. You don't have to feel an obligation to watch videos, okay? I dislike fandoms in general when they get fandom for the sake of fandom. Like, don't get me wrong, I like fandoms where it's, hey, we talk about the thing because we like the thing, etc. I dislike fandoms that is, we need to watch the thing to support the fandom, to watch the thing to support the fandom, to keep the fandom. Like, it's a self-fulfilling fandom that doesn't actually have any content. Like, only watch the stuff you enjoy. Don't watch it to support the channel, because then you're just making the entire, like, way you interact with the fandom about just supporting the thing you don't enjoy, because by definition you're not watching the videos you do enjoy. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, at the end of the day, I don't want you feeling like you should be guilty for not watching, say, the Civilization video that didn't do particularly well. This is me saying, this is my problem with the YouTube algorithm, not with my fan base. This is, you know, not that. I mean, the word fan is problematic. It's short for fanatic. Like, you shouldn't really be a fanatic of something. Not a YouTube channel. Like, don't get me wrong, like, you might like my videos, but you shouldn't be a fanatic about them. Not that good. So, yeah, this is mostly to do with the YouTube algorithm, how it then counts a bad episode against you. So, there's 3 solutions, like I said. I can keep going and trash the channel, which I was kind of trying to do. I was like, oh, 1 bad series, that'll be fine. No, it brings everything down quite significantly, and it has done so for the last few years, and I've been ignoring it. Alternatively, I keep posting episode 1s. I'd stop batch recording episode 1s. I just post episode 1s, see how they do, and if they do poorly, I trash them, chuck them in the bin, delete them. I should probably delete that Civilization episode because it's still dragging the channel down. Effectively, it'll be like, what is the views in the first 4 hours? If the views in the first 4 hours are bad, I delete it. That's the other solution. And I guess that's what TV does with pilot episodes. You know, when they're like, we think this series might be good, but let's make a pilot episode and see what the response is like. So I could do that. Though I feel that people would be a little bit betrayed by the like, oh, I was looking forward to that. Or the alternative is I stopped doing Let's Play content. And you notice that a lot of channels that you might have been following for, say, the last 4 years have stopped doing Let's Play content. Or at least have moved away from YouTube. I've talked to other channels recently who said that they gonna be moving away from Let's Play content, or they're thinking about moving away from Let's Play content because it doesn't work. YouTube does not like long-form content in a series. I don't know why, because you think that would promote binge watches, and that's what they want, but whatever. YouTube right now wants 10-minute videos that are standalone and one-off, and that's not what a Let's Play content is. You might be able to at least, say, take a game of COD, just match 15, 20 minutes long, shorten that to 10 minutes, fine. You can't do that with a strategy game, because a strategy game is a much more like a long narrative that flows between a few different things. Some strategy games are short, but the ones I prefer are these long narratives. And it's one of the things I personally enjoy is how you take an underdog to the top, and that story of, you know, progression. I really like progression. I really like that sort of approach where you take a strategy game and you're like, oh, I'm just one tiny little blob, and then suddenly I take Denmark and I conquer the world, Hearts of Iron. And you can't do that in 10 minutes because you can't set up, oh, here is the baseline, Denmark, tiny. Here is the progress, taking over the Nazis. And here's the final, Denmark conquers the world. Like, you can't do that in 10 minutes. And particularly with a strategy game on top, the mechanics are somewhat involved, and you have to be able to explain certain mechanics and how you're using them. Otherwise, you're not playing and recording a game, you're just playing a recording, and the game just happens to be a vehicle, which is fine, but I always feel like that's a little bit weird, and maybe that's not my style. Maybe I'm just too old, maybe I'm too northern, maybe I'm too, I don't know, whatever you want. Beardy. But I don't know what to do about that. Because at the end of the day, like, the bread and butter of the channel's been that Let's Play content, and even going back all the way to, you know, Kerbal Space Program, World War K, that's narrative. That's an emergent narrative through several, you know, intertwined videos, which is what I think was the strength of it. Don't get me wrong, each one kind of stood by itself, but like the actual full-on flow added up to something greater than the whole because they all intertwined and connected into this grand campaign. So maybe that is part of the solution. Maybe I'll go back to making lots of single-form videos that somehow connect. In which case, that's not strategy games, because strategy games are big, independent blocks. So yeah, that's the main problem. Like, a lot of other people have switched to Twitch to avoid this whole YouTube problem, and maybe maybe that's the solution. But I personally prefer to be able to do like record loads when I'm motivated and then do some other tasks when I'm less motivated, or maybe when I'm not feeling creative, I can do the other tasks. You know, I'll be like, I'll make some thumbnails, do some descriptions. And then when I'm feeling creative, I can be like, right, I'm going to record all the XCOM. Doing a scheduled, you know, this set times per day every day on Twitch is something that's less appealing to me, especially because like my health fluctuates a bit up and down. So I don't know what the solution is. And this is a video of me, I know, saying mostly I don't know. And I know there is definitely a cultural thing right now to never say I don't know, because saying you don't know can imply a weakness or something. But honestly, I think that sometimes admitting that you don't know something is a lot stronger than not admitting you don't know something and pretending that everything's fine. And that's what I've been doing for the last few months. And to be honest, I need to address the fact that I don't know what to do with the channel. And I do enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I really enjoy making these videos. I really enjoy people like chiming in and the community and stuff. But over the last few months, maybe even a couple of years, the way that I felt pressured by the algorithm to change things, to try and adapt, to just fit an algorithm that doesn't actually fit Let's Plays, and especially doesn't fit strategy game Let's Plays, makes me feel a lot less disconnected, and I've felt so out of touch with everything recently, just because of that. Because I feel like I have to jump through some hoop and make a 10-minute video that's standalone, which just isn't. It isn't Let's Plays, and it isn't especially Let's Plays of strategy games. Like, you can make short Let's Plays, sure, okay, that exists, you can do that, but it isn't strategy games, and it also isn't the narrative long-form content that I like. I am massively a fan of that sort of progressive story where things change, like, you know, a good example, say, like Crusader Kings, where you have that roleplay element, but you can do the same with, you know, Hearts of Iron, where you roleplay as the country, and you talk about the story of the country rising and falling and the pressures you face. So I don't know what to do about that. And that ties into our thing, obviously, like, because I stream on Twitch, and that's like an ancillary thing. You know, it's never really made that much money or anything for me. It's mostly been about interaction with the community, and I've pulled away from that recently because I've been doing a lot of stuff with Roll For It, the roleplay shows I deal with over there, being CEO. And also we had a roleplay thing on my channel on Twitch, which is currently on hiatus. So I'm kind of in a state where I don't know where to go from here. So I kind of want to get people's opinions. What do? Do I abandon Let's Play content and just try and do some sort of 10-minute video, more edited? Do I try and persevere and just post pilots and then delete them in the next 4 hours after posting if they don't do particularly well? Is there another option that I'm not seeing? And I know I'm going to get people replying, by the way, that's saying stuff like, I watch your videos, support you all the way. I really appreciate that. Don't get me wrong. It does my health, my mental health, a world of good to know that people like still enjoy my stuff, etc. But like, as much as that's really heartwarming to hear, don't get me wrong, it doesn't solve my problem of like, I know, but the issue is YouTube. I have a solid fan base who I'm very grateful for being very supportive and very positive, and I think that we've got a really great community in that group. Like, don't get me wrong, I really, really appreciate that, and something I'm very happy to have cultivated and have got together and been like an absolute solid, like absolute unit of a community who are just really nice people and so supportive and open and accepting of others. Something I really appreciate, and something I think that is one of my favorite things about this channel. But the issue is, that's not the YouTube algorithm, that's the problem. YouTube channels are not built on that small community of, you know, a few hundred people, maybe even in the case of large communities, a few thousand people. They're built on, you know, 1 million views or more. And to do that, you need to play the YouTube algorithm. And I'm never a fan of just jumping through hoops for the sake of jumping through hoops, because it trashes my motivation to not do something that I'm particularly enthusiastic about, and that shows. I'm not a particularly good person about showing when I'm not one of these people who can be a YouTuber and go, yeah, I'm really enjoying this, oh, look at this, etc., when I'm not feeling enthusiastic about a game. And I think that's something that comes across. I think that spark of authenticity is something that people appreciate. I hope they appreciate it. That's one of the reasons, when I've taken brand deals recently, you might notice that I did do some brand deals in the last few months, even though the other videos have been less on the channel. Most of those were organized beforehand, but like I only ever take brand deals that I'm somewhat enthusiastic about, or like I'd consider covering anyway, or maybe I was going to cover, but had like been like lower in my priority queue of everything. There's a big queue. There's a big queue. And I hope that comes across. It seems to come across. People seem to like it. I'm glad, because that's something that I'm enthusiastic about, being authentic. I'm never a fan of pretending to jump around and shout out random stuff while not really playing a game and then just base the entire footage off of that. It's not me. It's really not me. So yeah, I don't know where to go. And this isn't me doing a cry for help. I'm okay. This is not me saying, hey, the channel is changing, I'm going to do this. This is me saying, I don't know what to do. And it's been that way for the last few months. And at some point, I need to admit that I don't know what to do. And I just need to say, hey, I've got a really supportive community, and right now I'm kind of letting them down by not posting videos. Especially, I have a Patreon. People are supporting me financially on the channel to do the channel stuff, and I'm not doing it, so it needs to be quite honest and say, yeah, I'm letting people down. If you are a Patreon and you want to do so, feel free to unsubscribe. I will be making videos soon. I've wanted to make some videos on stuff like Aurora 4X, etc. But I think my biggest fear is that I post something like an Aurora 4X video and then it does terribly, and I'm like, this is a series that I was really looking forward to and can only be done, because it's the Dwarf Fortress of space games, as you don't know what it is. It can only be done in long form content. And part of the reason I like long form content is because, as you explain it as you go along, you can introduce people to the same franchise, and like I can introduce people and show people the games I love and that I think are worthy of like getting that word out. And especially with strategy games, that's super important because it's quite a high bar to entry compared to other games. So I like doing that service. I don't know what to do. And I'm mostly just saying, hi, what are your thoughts as a channel? Because I don't know. And at some point, I need to admit to that. And right now, I do not know where to go. Yeah, sorry that's a bit depressing, but like... I will appreciate those of you who are going to comment or who have already commented saying, I support you, I appreciate your videos, etc. I don't know why I did that voice. I actually really appreciate that. It's always nice to hear, don't get me wrong. But I also don't know where to go, and anyone who's got some other advice would be appreciated, or thoughts. Maybe even if something that just sparks an idea in me and then like, oh cool, I could do this instead or something, I think that's what I'm missing. I think I'm missing a spark of direction. And I'm someone who always believes that there is a solution to something. I just don't see the solution right now. There must be solutions that I'm just missing. So that's mostly why I'm saying it. Anyway, I'm going to go. I've rambled way too long on this video, and I've probably explained things very poorly. I may have recorded this like 4 times now. Yeah. Also, I'm kind of digging this setup. It did some camera stuff. Made my green screen slightly better. No, I don't actually have just a giant banner behind me. This is green screen. So there are some positives. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Thank you very much for watching and putting up on my ramble. Monologue. Speech. Soliloquy. But yeah. On a side note, it's 2020. Everything's terrible. I hope you're all holding in there. It's been rough, and I know it's been rough for some members of the community, and some groups more than others. And so, wishing you all the best. Stay shiny.